This year's Halloween Horror Nights 34 looks like it is going to be insane with more IPs than ever before. Hello everybody, welcome. Not only could we be getting more houses this year than we've ever had before, but we could also be getting more IPs than ever. And even a possible Dark Universe tie-in that nobody is talking about. It is hard to believe that it is Halloween season already. We are only 3 months away from the opening of Halloween Horror Nights for 2025. Usually by this time we've already started to get confirmation on some of the houses and scare zones and things that we're going to be experiencing at Halloween Horror Nights. But for some reason this year it has sort of taken a backseat. I think all the hype around Epic Universe is just blowing the doors off of everything, and nobody's talking about Halloween Horror Nights just yet. I'm expecting that to change very soon in the next couple of weeks. I've heard some rumors, and I have a feeling that that's going to change either close to opening day for Epic Universe or shortly after. This year's Halloween Horror Nights 34 is opening on August 29th of 2025. This was sort of expected because the Friday before Labor Day is on August 29th this year, and usually Labor Day weekend is the sweet spot for Halloween Horror Nights in years past, which means this is Halloween Horror Nights' earliest opening date ever for Universal Orlando. This year we're getting 48 nights of terror and screams and horror. The dates are August 29th through the 31st, all of September and October, Wednesdays through Sundays, and then also November 1st and 2nd. Now interestingly, last year's Halloween Horror Nights prices and tickets were revealed on April 4th, and here we are in May, and we still don't have information on any of the tickets. So this is super unusual, again, probably because of Epic Universe taking up all their time. Now everybody's asking if we're gonna get the premium Scream Night again this year that they tried out last year for the very first time. This was a $350 price tag, one night only Scream Night that ran from 6:30 p.m. until 2 o'clock a.m. and included food and all the haunted houses and everything you could do. This was on August 29th, which was the day before opening day last year, and everybody I've talked to said it was absolutely out of this world. Unfortunately, it was out of this world, I think, because there was low attendance. I don't think they made a whole lot of money, if any, on the premium Scream Night. So we've been trying to figure out, is it coming back this year or not? My favorite thing is that it is staggered group entry, which I am a big fan of. I hate the long lines where you can see the screams coming. And then, of course, all you can eat foods. Big fan of that, too. I really wish I had gone. I didn't end up going, and hoping that it comes around again this year because I would love to go. There is one little blurb on the mobile website of the Universal Resort website that talks about the premium Scream Night. I think this might just be an error. Somebody like copy and pasted stuff over because it's not on the desktop version of the site. It's also not on the mobile app yet. So it could just be an error, but it is our first indicator that maybe it's coming back. Let's get into everything we know about Halloween Horror Nights so far this year. Let's talk about the IPs. As I said earlier, it looks like we might be getting more IPs than ever. Now, I will say every year we speculate all these IPs and we talk about all of them, and usually way less IPs come to fruition than we talk about, but it looks like this year we might be getting more. On average, over the last several years, we've ended up between 3 and 5 IPs if you don't include Universal Monsters as one of those IPs. I usually just hold that aside, but it looks like this year we might actually be getting 6 IPs. And that's not even including Universal Monsters if we end up getting it. That is going to be crazy. 6 IPs, usually there's only 10 houses. This year we're thinking there might be 11 or 12 houses with maybe 6 IPs. Let's just get into it. But we do know the house permits. I want to talk about this really briefly. I won't belabor it again, but this year's house permits were a little bit unusual. Usually they put all the permits out to do all of the work and they code name all of them. This year they filed 10 house permits, all under code names of different flowers like Snapdragon and Lily. But what's really weird about it this year is that Soundstage 24A was left off the list. This is very unusual because there's always been a house in Soundstage 24A for quite a long time. Now, they don't always have a permit for a house or for a building, so a lot of these structures are dual houses in one building. So Soundstage 24 has an A and a B side. Usually there's one on both sides. And they do on occasion only file a permit for one of the sound stages, and then they have 2 houses in it. But it is very unusual not to have it. If you're doing any sort of like load-bearing walls or electrical work, they have to have a permit for both sides. Now we're going to talk about Soundstage 24A and what might be happening there and why that sort of extra house might still be on the table a little bit later. But let's get into the stuff that we're thinking we're getting based on the permits. So the first house in the A slot there on our speculation map, codenamed Snapdragon, this is Soundstage 23A. We originally had some rumors that maybe we were going to get Last of Us. As you know, the new Last of Us season just dropped. Last of Us makes sense to bring back again. But it looks like that might actually not be happening. That might be one of the IPs that we are taking off the list today. It doesn't seem like Last of Us is in play. Instead, we might be getting some sort of Pirates or original type house in this location. And one of the rumors that I heard, which I thought sounded really cool and does kind of line up with what we're hearing coming out of that house, is it could be a Poseidons Fury house in that location, which I think would be absolutely bonkers, off the chain awesome. I would love to see something around that. This would make total sense. They did a Dueling Dragons original house a couple of years ago. And again, this particular soundstage is usually an original house. I will say usually the houses in this location haven't been that great. But Dueling Dragons made an occurrence. That was a defunct ride. Poseidons Fury shut down. That whole entire space is not being used, but a lot of people are fans of that attraction. So it could very well end up being some sort of Poseidons Fury attraction, house. I would be so down for that. I would love to see it. Even if it's not scary, I just think bringing Poseidons Fury back would be epic. In the B slot, just up, Soundstage 22, this was codenamed Poppy. And apparently, WWE, the wrestling, may be back in play. That was one of the rumors that we heard originally, and it got shuttered, and it looked like that was off the table. It looks like it might have actually come back now, and it may be in this particular location. It's just that rumor that will not die. And this particular soundstage has had some pretty good heavy hitters in it in past years. We had A Quiet Place last year, then we had Exorcist Believer before that. So would make sense for this to be an IP house. And it could be something around the Wyatt family. I don't really follow wrestling anymore. I did when I was a kid, but I don't anymore. But my understanding is it could have something to do with the Wyatt family or the Undertaker being something around that. Or maybe it's a competition between the two, or maybe they're fighting each other, or maybe they're going in together. I'm not sure, but something around that theme. But I think it's really kind of interesting to find out that WWE might be making an appearance at Halloween Horror Nights. In the C slot, Soundstage 23B, just the other side of that house, which was codenamed Violet. This is earmarked, and it has been for a while, Five Nights at Freddy's. I've talked about this. They had a lot of posters and things up with Five Nights at Freddy's at last Halloween Horror Nights. I commented on that several times that could be an indicator we're finally going to be getting it right after the movie. We've consistently gotten Blumhouse production houses every year in scare zones. Last year we didn't get a Blumhouse haunted house. We did get a Blumhouse scare zone that had a bunch of different things in it. Happy Death Day, Megan, etc., Black Phone, they were all in that scare zone. So could very well end up being Five Nights at Freddy here. This again is a house that has had some major heavy hitters in it, so it would make total sense. Ghostbusters, Stranger Things 4, Halloween was in this space. Five Nights at Freddy definitely could fit in this spot. Over in D there, that's codenamed Lily. Soundstage 24B, which is the other half of the side that we're going to talk about a little bit later as to what's going on there. This is some sort of original house, it looks like. Don't really know much about what it's going to be, but I do know that pretty much all the houses that have been in this particular soundstage, in this location, have kind of just been garbage. So I'm not really expecting a lot out of that one. My hopes are not high for this particular house at all. It's probably going to be an original, but hey, you know what? they've blown my hair back and knocked my socks off before when I wasn't expecting it, so maybe that'll be this year too. All right, over in E there, Soundstage 25. This is Poinsettia. This looks like it's going to be a Scream or Conjuring house. It could be either one. I've also heard rumor of Poltergeist potentially being in this location because Poltergeist, it looks like they're fabricating some of the facade there in Halloween Horror Nights in Universal Hollywood. And it does look like a remnant of what Poltergeist looked like when they had it there in years past. So people are speculating Poltergeist might be coming there again. There's talk about Poltergeist potentially now being in this spot in Universal Orlando. I don't know that we're going to get Poltergeist. It's possible it comes there. I still think we got Scream or Conjuring going to be in this space. We have a new Scream movie coming out. It's the 7th, I think, in the series, coming out in 2026. So it would make sense to sort of use this as some advertisement for it. I'm going to leave Scream on the speculation map for now because that's what we have the most credible information about to this point, but it could be one of these others. Stranger Things has been there. Poltergeist was there at one point back in 2018. We had The Walking Dead there. So there's been a lot of good houses. It would make sense for there to be another great IP in there. All right, here's the big one. Here's the one that I think right now sounds like the most confirmed. It looks like we are, in fact, getting Terrifier. I am just hearing all sorts of rumors, all sorts of things. People are saying that there's all sort of information coming out that Terrifier is happening, that we are going to be getting something here very shortly in the next couple of weeks that could be announcing Terrifier, confirmed that it is coming. I know there's been merchandise that's been rolling in, and supposedly we're getting Terrifier. And I think that's going to be crazy if we do. That is just a insane horror IP. And this particular location is a little bit weird for me. We'll see. I don't know. It's kind of a weird location. This is the F location, Fast and Furious building there, codenamed Jasmine. We've had a lot of Blumhouse stuff there in the past, which is why I would think that maybe the Blumhouse Five Nights at Freddy would have been in that location. I've since adjusted my map. In the previous one, I had Five Nights at Freddy here, but I'm hearing it might be over where I just previously said. So it sounds like Terrifier might be in this slot. I'm not 100% convinced it's going to be in this location, but I am being more and more convinced that Terrifier is coming. Next up is G. This is codenamed Tulip. This is the Sprung Tent 3. This is one of the 2 new Sprung Tents that was built after they removed the parade warehouse buildings from the agenda because of all the flooding and issues that they had back there. Don't know much about this one. Some sort of a snow and cold house potentially. Don't know. It could be some sort of Santa or Killer Kringles type. I'm also wondering if this could be some sort of interesting Universal Monsters tie-in, some sort of dark universe, maybe a Christmas or cold house version of Dark Universe. We haven't heard a lot about Universal Monsters coming to Halloween Horror Nights this year, and I'm like, it's gotta be here, right? We get one every single year. This particular location has been Universal Monsters in the past. We had Universal Monsters Unmasked, then we had Universal Monsters Legends Collide before that. So I am putting my money, I'm hoping that we get some sort of epic universe, dark universe, Universal Monsters, maybe a Cold House version of Dark Universe in this spot. Right next door, Sprung Tent number 4. This is the H location, codenamed Daisy. It looks like this is going to be the location for Fallout. So it sounds like we're getting a Fallout house this year. It has just been crazy popular, Fallout. The series has brought so much life into that IP in the video gaming world. Now, I'm a little bit confused by this particular location. I originally had it earmarked in another spot because last year this was Goblin's Feast. Goblin's Feast was decent as a house, but not an IP. This again was new last year, so they haven't had IPs in this location in the past. However, the Sprung Tent replaced a parade warehouse where we have had some heavy hitter IPs. The second parade warehouse building had the Last of Us there, had The Weeknd, which was huge. And before that was Haunting of Hill House. So it could be that this Sprung Tent ends up being one of the new locations for some pretty cool IPs. Next up is I, which is Iris, codename Sprung Tent number 2. Don't know much about this one. We have been hearing maybe something Slaughter Cinema related, could be. I've heard rumor that something around HR Blood and Guts may make a return, have his own house. He's had a house in the past. has something to do with like television and radio and broadcasting and sort of HR Blood and Guts. That's his shtick. So some sort of original house could end up being HR Blood and Guts. Don't know for sure. Next spot is J, Sprung Tent number 1, codenamed Carnation. This one looks like it is going to be one of the houses that was showcased in Slaughter Cinema 2 last year. It's going to be called Hatchet and Chains, Demon Bounty Hunters, one of the little small areas that was in that house last year. It looks like it's getting its own house this year. Could potentially be it. We did have Slaughter Cinema 2 there in that building last year, so it would make total sense. This particular location has had some pretty good stuff in the past. Museum Deadly Exhibits was okay, but Darkest Deal was before that, and that was a sleeper hit for me. It was probably one of my favorite houses that I've ever seen, and I wasn't expecting anything out of that. So those are the big ones that are in the slots that we normally would report on, but there is one other house that I want to mention again, Soundstage 24A. What is going on? I've marked that as X on the map for now. That's the location. And this is because they are using Soundstage 25 this year that they haven't used in the past. So I mentioned that earlier. That's where Scream or The Conjuring is going to end up being. So Soundstage 24A, what is happening? So what we are speculating here is that we could be getting a return of the Insidious house that we had last year. This is where Insidious was. Insidious is popular. It was a very popular house last year. They even had the Insidious food booth right out front, which was also very popular. We're wondering if maybe they're just going to bring Insidious back and do a dupe again this year. Maybe make some slight modifications to it, but no real changes to the maze, if you will, so it doesn't require a permit. And that could give us a surprise 11th house this year, which I think could be something that they really could do. Last year and the year before, Halloween Horror Nights has been good, but it hasn't been, I would say, the most amazing. You can tell there was a little bit of budget cuts, and they were trying to be a little bit careful because they were spending a lot of money on Epic Universe. This could be the year where they make this huge play with Halloween Horror Nights and do something really special, like add another new house and have more IPs than ever by just bringing Insidious back around. I think that would be such a smart move. So we could end up with Insidious in this Soundstage 24A location, even though we didn't get a permit. So my thoughts overall on the IPs is I'm pretty excited this year. I think there's some good stuff. Last year I wasn't too excited about them, and it ended up being amazing. And this year I'm excited about them, so I'm hoping it's even more amazing. Let's talk now a little bit about what we know about the scare zones. We've got some new information here around those. A couple of years ago, all the scare zones were connected by Dr. Oddfellows. Last year, there was 2 zones that were connected with Sinister and Surreal. This year, we don't really know a lot about scare zones. We usually find out about those at the very end, but we're hearing rumors about a potential Mel's Drive-In scare zone with zombies or creatures or whatever on roller skates, bringing that sort of like 1950s, whatever, sock hop, root beer stand vibe to Mel's Drive-In. They tried to take Mel's Drive-In, Mel's Die-In away. I think it was a couple of years ago, or it wasn't going to be active. They weren't going to light it up, and people like revolted. Like people were like up in arms and saying like, "Oh my gosh, this is the worst thing ever!" Like Halloween Horror Nights was going to be a failure. And I keep wondering, like, did Universal go, "Oh, we didn't realize that like people were so connected with Mel's Die-In being a cool thing"? It's almost like Earl the Squirrel, where that sort of like fanfare and that fan love for that thing could end up being kind of like an Earl the Squirrel thing, where it like manifested out of nothing and all of a sudden became this really like popular thing. And so maybe they're throwing all in on that this year and being like, you know what? Let's do something with Mel's Die-In. Let's make it a scare area or a scare zone and have, you know, these sort of like roller skating zombies. We know that they did put in a casting call for people that could roller skate for this year. So it could very well be this is what we end up getting. Over there right next door, I have tentatively marked the Hamikuma as a potential new thing this year. If you don't know anything about Hamikuma, it is basically this like original character. It's this like zombie teddy bear thing. It was hugely popular over in Japan when it was first released. They brought it back again, and it's been a big thing over there. So it's quite possible they're going to bring that over for Halloween Horror Nights Orlando this year. And so I'm kind of tentatively marking it in that space there over in N. I don't know if it's going to be a scare zone or just maybe like a meet and greet of some kind, or maybe something similar to like the Megan Horde. Not really sure. Are we going to get a return of the Megan Horde? We don't know. I'd love to see it come back. People were big fans of it. I think it was really cool. We'd love to see that. So I'm going to put it on the map tentatively for now, but we don't have any word on it yet. And then from a show perspective, you know, we're getting a Nightmare Fuel again. Don't know much about it. We're going to be getting it. You can bet your money on it. They're keeping that theater around. They keep talking about getting rid of the theater and doing something with it, building a new attraction, building a new land, expanding the Diagon Alley. They haven't done anything. They're just going to bring Nightmare Fuel back again. Are we going to get a Lagoon drone show like we had Ghoulish a couple of years ago? No word on that yet either. They have been doing a lot of work on the Lagoon. The water was drained. They're doing a lot of construction on it. It's quite possible we end up getting, I hope we do, because you need like some areas where people can kind of gather and come away from the houses and experience a show. I think that would help with the crowds. So no word on that yet, but here we're crossing our fingers we get the Lagoon show. Obviously, we'll get a return of the Wizarding World Death Eaters. We're expecting them to come back in Diagon Alley. Nice little show. It doesn't take a lot of effort. It's kind of a cool thing. So that'll probably be coming back as well. So as I mentioned, you know, Epic Universe is going to be out, and it's going to start. They're going to start investing in the other parks. And Halloween Horror Nights, this could be the year, you know, bringing it back and making it bigger and better than ever, adding an additional house, having 11 houses, maybe even 12, not sure, could be, having more IPs than ever before as well. This could be the year. I am pumped. Couldn't be more excited for Halloween Horror Nights 2025. What do you think? Are you excited? Have you heard any rumors that I'm missing? Anything that you would love to tell me about? I'll give you credit and I'll put it in the next video. Just let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with everybody. Thanks again for watching. Until I see you next time, the Noble Way is the easy way. Bye-bye, everybody.